Well, good evening, everybody. Good evening. It is Leah. I just wanted to thank you all for tuning in tonight. Or if you're catching the replay, thank you for catching the replay. I am a personal development and family life coach. And what I do is I empower women to strengthen their families by helping them to free themselves from emotional bondage and repurpose their pain in order to walk in their passion and their purpose. So I'm going to take a couple days out of the week to come on here and to thank you all about, to talk to you. I'm sorry, I'm going to come on here a couple days and talk to you all about various topics. Some of them may be light and fun, and some of them may be really heavy. It just depends on the day and what's on my heart to share with you. So we'll have special guest appearances on here by my family, my husband, my children. Every now and then, the dog will show up. You know, if you see my videos, you know he's part of the family too. So you may get to see him too. Um, I am looking forward to sharing with all of you. I just wanted to thank you for watching the videos that I post and sharing them and liking them and commenting on them, and it really helps to get a good feel of what we can talk about and what things will be useful to you. So I just wanted to get started with our topic tonight. Tonight, I want to talk to you about suffering in silence. I read an article that stated that according to the World Health Organization, that there are more than 300 million people who suffer from depression, and over half of them don't get the treatment that they need because either they don't realize that they're suffering from depression or they're ashamed of the stigma that's attached to it. Now, some of the symptoms, they include mood swings or reckless behavior or alcohol or drug abuse, sometimes isolation or even physical symptoms. And that's just to name a few. There are so many things that can trigger depression. It can be a health condition, it can be problems in your relationship, or maybe a financial hardship, dealing with the death of a loved one, or the big one, which is what? Stress. Now, for women, there's a lot of us that suffer in silence when they're dealing with an abusive relationship. Now, you've heard the saying, what goes on this house, what goes on in this house stays in this house. But it's that kind of thinking and reasoning that keeps women in bondage and keeps them in abusive situations. There's a stigma of shame that's attached to abuse, and it's embarrassing, it's degrading, and nobody wants to look weak or helpless. So, what do? We hide it. And we think that we can handle it on our own. And so we put on a mask and we act like everything is okay. And we don't seek help, we don't seek treatment or counseling. And all it does is just make matters worse. So let me back up for a moment, and I want to define that what we're talking about when we say abuse. Um, don't think that because they don't put their hands on you that they are not being abusive. Of course, there's physical abuse, but there's also different types of mental and emotional abuse. There's verbal abuse or humiliation where they may try to shame you or harass you in public. They may call you names or are patronizing to you or dismissive. They might be controlling to you, maybe treating you like a child or spying on you or always checking on your whereabouts, want to know where you're going, who you're with, what you're doing. In an unhealthy way. There's nothing wrong with checking in, but where it becomes unhealthy, where you feel like, man, what is going on here? And the big one for me, which is financial abuse, where they control all of the money. So if you did want to leave, you wouldn't be able to because you couldn't afford to do it. That's a big one for women because a lot of women stay in abusive relationships because they can't afford to get out. And that is why it is so important for women to have their own money. Financial independence is so important, but I digress because I could talk about that all night. I'm going to have to do a live or something about financial abuse and financial independence. So, back to suffering in silence. We do know that there is a stigma attached to it where people, especially women, are too embarrassed to come out and discuss it and ask for help. So instead, we wear a mask and we pretend that everything's okay. But in the meantime, we're falling apart. Emotional baggage can actually lead to physical problems. You know that people get ulcers, and you may hear the old folks say, "You are going to make my pressure go up." Frequent migraine headaches, and that's another sign. Frequent migraine headaches, upset stomachs, and panic attacks, you name it. Anything that happens to you uh, through the emotions, it can show up in your body. So that's why it's important to keep yourself free of emotional toxins. So there's three things that I want to share with you about what happens when you continue suffering in silence. The first is that the abuse becomes a normal thing, a normal way of life. You come to expect it and accept it. And all that does is continue to give the abuser permission to continue with their toxic behavior. You have to decide when enough is going to be enough for you. Think about all that you have depending on you. If you have children, they are watching you. They see this behavior, and we do them a disservice when we normalize this type of behavior. And if you're not careful, they're going to take on the attitude of either the abuser or the abused, and they'll live what they've seen. So, the next thing you need to know is that the longer you're in the situation, the longer it's going to take to come out of it. When you are in a depressed state of mind, you don't just all of a sudden come out of it. You have to put in the work and climb out of the hole that you're in. By staying in it longer, you allow yourself to go deeper in that depression. Have you heard people talk about how they were in a dark place? Well, this is a place where there is no joy to be found. There's no peace. They feel worthless and unlovable, and they lose interest in what used to excite them. And even worse, they lose faith that things will get better. And so they sink into this dark place. And this is where thoughts of self harm and suicide come from. So, how do you pull yourself out of this dark place? Well, the first thing you need to do is stop suffering in silence. Find some help, a friend or a supportive group, maybe seek counseling, and begin your journey to healing. You need to find someone that you can trust and let them know what's going on. Surround yourself with positive people that will encourage you. What you read and what you listen to is very important as well. You need to cleanse your mind and your soul. You want to stop the patterns of toxic thinking and toxic behaviors in your life. Build yourself up, starting with learning how to love you. Don't hide what you've been going through. Use it as a point of reference to show how far you've come, and then use it as an example to remind you of the things that you will not accept anymore. You are worth it. Your sanity is worth it. Your safety is worth it. Your future is worth it as well. You are not alone, and you don't have to be. Someone is praying for you, someone is fighting for you, and someone is waiting for you to reach out for help. But you have to take the first step. So I believe that when you've made the decision to make this type of change in your life, that you should have the right people around you that will help you on your path. You need someone that has gone through it and that understands your struggles and that can guide you in how to come out of this dark place. You need to connect with someone you trust that can show you how to let go of emotional toxins in order to live a happier, healthier, and more fulfilled life. So, I'm going to be hosting a virtual spa experience where we're going to learn how to let go of pain in order to free your mind and heal the total woman. That's mind, body, and soul. This is going to be Saturday, May the 8th. Starting at 10 a.m. Central Time. So I'm going to post the flyer and the link to the page where you can snag your spot for this event. So come on out or come on in, I guess, since it's virtual, and join us for some makeovers, some fun, and most of all, some self love. I'm not going to take up too much more of your time. I just wanted to come in and share my thoughts with you today. I know it's late, but I just wanted to share my thoughts with you today. And I wanted to thank you for tuning in. And I just want to remind you that you are loved. So be encouraged, be empowered, and be blessed. You all have a good one.